Hi, my name is Jess, and I just finished my second year taking biomedical science at the University of Guelph. Whether you choose to live on residence in your first year or not, most students will look for off campus housing at some point in their university career. A few of you had questions about how to find the right fit for you, and I'm here today to help explain some common misconceptions and to give you advice on when and where to start looking for a house of your own. Sarah asked, what are some expectations I should have for living off campus? I lived on campus in residence in my first year and moved out in my second year, and I enjoyed both experiences a lot, but they did have some notable differences. For example, when you live in your own house, the chances are that you're going to be cooking at home a lot more than you are at school. So if you're going to be moving out, it's probably a good idea to get a simple cookbook or save some recipes online and practice some things in the summer before you move into a new place so that when you get there, you're not having to buy food all the time and have it delivered and stuff like that, which can accrue a huge cost. It also takes a bit longer in the mornings to get to school than you might have been used to if you lived on campus. And you have to budget that extra time where, say, if you have an 8:30 class, instead of waking up at 8 to walk over there anymore, you may be waking up at 6:30, 7, around then to have the extra time to get up and get everything prepared on your own end. Some people also find that living off campus can be less social because they don't automatically have a ton of other university students living with them. But personally, to combat that, I tried to make sure that I got involved with even more things in my second year when I moved off campus, including an off campus university group at my school, which was really helpful in making sure that I still felt connected even when I wasn't living on campus anymore. So those are a couple expectations that you should have if you're moving from on campus to off campus or even just about off campus living in general. But they're pretty easy to combat if you take some simple steps to get used to them beforehand. Cira also asked, what's the best way to find affordable housing? Where do I look? And are there many options for someone on a small budget attending post-secondary school? That's a great question because before I started looking for my house, I had no idea how people found them. In general, if you're living in a town that has a post-secondary institution, there is probably a lot of housing, affordable housing for rent, specifically for students, because landlords take advantage of the fact that so many students are looking and they buy properties specifically for that purpose. As for actually finding it, I know some people will look on sites like Kijiji that have classified listings, but at Guelph, we also had a special site called the Canon, which helped with like textbook buybacks and tutoring, and it also had a section on classifieds for housing, which is actually how my housemates and I found our house going into second year. Not every university will have the exact same thing, but from talking to friends, I know a lot of universities have their own dedicated sites that you can use to look for housing when you're ready. If you really want it to be affordable and you want to fulfill any other requirements, I would really recommend starting early. I had decided that I was going to move out a bit late in my first year, but a few other girls invited me to live with them. And we started looking for houses in like January. And even then, lots of them were already gone. So if you want something affordable, that's probably going to be one of the first things to go because all university students are trying to stick to a budget. So I would definitely recommend getting out there early and looking at things and trying to figure out what suits your needs. You may have to compromise on something. I know that places that were bigger and shared with more students or slightly farther away from the university were often cheaper than those closer. But making a list of your priorities for a house will be a good way to make sure you're not compromising on anything that would be detrimental for you. Also, I know it sounds scary moving out and getting a house, but keep in mind that most off campus living is actually cheaper than residence, which is one of the reasons that students choose to pursue it. I hope that helps clear up some of your questions and concerns. Good luck next year.